Okay, in this video we're going to start push-pulling the parts. We're also going to center them, and we're going to get rid of these wheel wells and wheel parts and insert some F1 wheels and axles that I've created for you. So first of all, let's go ahead and do this. We've already watched a video on how to draw the body. That's been push-pulled to 32 millimeters. But now I need to push-pull the parts to 64. So let's start with this front airfoil. Whenever we want to edit a part, we can't just single click on it, we actually want to double click on it. So let me double click on this. And I'm going to use P for push pull. I'm going to hover over this face, so I'm going to click once. I'm going to move in this direction, and I'm going to type in 64 and hit enter. Now, I'm still in push-pull mode, so let me hit my space bar to return back to the select tool. Let me click off the part. Okay, and let me do that for the other two. So let me go ahead and click once on the side pod. Let me go ahead and double click on it. P for push-pull. Click once. Move in this direction. Go ahead and type in 64 and hit enter. And last but not least, let me go ahead and click off of it. And let me go ahead and do the same thing for this rear airfoil. Let me double click. And if you want to turn X-ray on while you do this, that may be helpful, or even just changing the perspective. I'm going to hit P for push-pull, click once. Let me move in the direction I want to push-pull. I'm going to type in 64, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, let me turn X-ray off, and let me go ahead and click off the car. Now, these need to be centered, and this is actually very easy. Let me show you a few ways to do this. One way to do this is to first click on the part you want to move, and then I'm going to hit M for move. And it really doesn't matter where you click as long as you make sure that you move along the correct axis. So watch how I do this. I'm going to go ahead and click right here where this part just intersects with the body. It really doesn't matter where you click. So let's just say we're to click here. Let me click once. Now what's important is the direction, and you'll notice that if I stop for a moment and move away from my car, you'll actually see that I'm on the green axis. So as long as I'm moving along the green axis, that means I'm moving perpendicular to the car body. That should be fine. Okay, so I originally clicked here. Now I do want to make sure I'm moving in the right direction. So I want to move in this direction. And as long as I'm moving in the direction that I want to move the part, I can now type in the number 16. And I'm going to hit enter. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. And you'll notice this part is perfectly centered and it's equal on both sides. Okay, let me do that again. Let me go ahead and click on my select tool, which is the arrow. Let me click on my side pod. Let me hit M for move. Once again, it really doesn't matter where you click, just as long as you're selecting the part. So I'll go ahead and click right here. That's fine. Just move along that green axis. So whatever you do, do not start to type any numbers in until you see green axis appear. And as you can see here, I'm having a little bit of trouble finding the green axis. So if you ever get stuck, like I just got stuck, I'm going to go ahead and hit the escape key. That'll just kind of reset everything back. And let me just select a different area. Let me click here on the side. So once again, you're going to run into these problems just as much as I am. So let me move in the direction of the green axis. Let me type in 16. And let me hit enter. Okay. Let me do the same thing now for the back. Okay, and that perspective is important, so I'm kind of looking at this from a perspective that I can work with here. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and click on my select tool. So I'm going to hit my space bar. I'm going to click once on the part. I'm going to hit M for move. Once again, to click on a part, any part of the part. I'm going to click here on the edge. Let me click once. And as long as I'm moving along the green axis, I can type in 16 and hit enter. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, let me go ahead and get rid of these wheel wells. So I'm going to hit the eraser tool. Now be very careful. You'll notice this is selected. So let me go ahead and make sure that whatever I erase, it's not one of the parts. So I'm going to hit my space bar first. Let me just click off the drawing so that nothing's selected. Now let me hit E for erase. Let's get rid of that wheel well. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this wheel well. Okay, you'll remember that we had these marks that we originally put in place. Now if these have changed, we have to make sure that what's going to happen next is coming off of the center of the wheel. My marks have not changed, so I'm going to go ahead and hit T for tape measure, and I'm going to go ahead and click once here, and I'm moving out once again along the green axis. That's very important. I'm going to go ahead and select or type in 20 and hit enter. And what you will have is a tape measure that extends perpendicular to the car body. Now, if for some reason you did move your wheels, let me back up here. What you want to make sure is that wherever you have the new axle location, you want to make sure that you find the center of this wheel or wheel well. One way to find the center of something is if you hover around a circle and then move towards the middle of the circle. A lot of times you'll see the word center appear. Okay. Once again, however you decide to do this, just make sure we're coming off the center of the wheel. I could even do this while the wheel wells are in place. That's fine. Just make sure that you're moving along that green axis. So let me zoom in so you can see I'm on the green axis. I'm going to type in 20. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and you'll notice I have my guide. Now, once again, I could then get rid of the wheel wells if I need to. So whatever works easiest for you, just make sure that these tape measure marks are definitely coming off of the center of the wheel. So once again, I'm going to type in 20, I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so once again, let me make sure that I now erase my wheel wells. All I have are these two tape measure marks. So what I have for you on Blackboard is a new part called F1 Wheel and Axle. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to hit Save Link As. And I'm going to save this to the folder where I'm saving my Formula 1 car. Don't change the file name, just hit Save. And now I'm going to go ahead and go to SketchUp. I'm going to select File, Import, and I'm going to open up my F1 Wheel and Axle file. Okay, one thing you will find is on this file I actually have created this little plus symbol. It's kind of hard to see right now, but you'll see it. But this is actually grabbing currently the center of the wheel. So all I have to do is just click right on my tape measure mark. Okay, just like that. Now, you probably learned this from another tutorial. With the move tool selected, if I hit the control key once, I'm now in copy mode. You'll see a little plus symbol next to my move tool. I'm going to click once again in the center of that wheel, and you'll notice I'm making a duplicate, and I'm going to click now once again on my other tape measure mark. Okay, there we go. We now have a completed car. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I save this file as something a little bit different this time. I'm going to go to File. You'll notice this is called Body. I'm going to go do a File Save As, and I'm going to save this as bolt, period number, and then the word assembly. Okay. So this is not called body anymore. This is called last name, period number, and then the word assembly. You'll notice I've already saved this before, so when I hit save, it's going to ask me to replace. You should not get this window if you're saving this for the first time. Okay, so this is my new assembled F1 car. I'm now going to go ahead and watch the next video, which will show me how to actually start printing my SketchUp file in Layout.